Positioning is one of the hardest things to master in any Call of Duty. It's something I'm still working on and critiquing to this day. Having good positioning on any map is going to lead to you getting more nukes and dying a lot less. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys my favorite positions to take on any of the popular Call of Duty maps. I am only doing 3 maps today, so if you guys like this video enough, I'm willing to do more. But with that being said, let's get into the video. Before we get into any of the maps, I'm going to tell you guys what good positioning would ideally be, just because you can't just sit in one spot and think that you're in a good position. There's a little bit more to it than that. For each of these maps, I have certain routes planned out right when the match starts, so that way I can kill the enemies and I can place them where I want them to go, so then I can position myself in a better spot to then take them off guard. The typical Call of Duty player right when they die is just going to be spawning in and then trying to run back to the objective or run back to a position where they almost got a kill at. So when you can catch them off guard like that, when you're already aiming down the sights and they're just running, you're going to get the kill more times than not. Once you guys start building your routes and then catching the enemy off guard right when they're spawning in, you're going to kind of start to understand what I'm saying by that. For example, at the start of this video, I showed you guys my route on the map firing range. I'll always push this mid tower to try and catch people running through the doorway to try and come and get to the objective. I have a really good view of all of mid-map right there, so I'll always take out any enemies that I can see there. Then I'll jump down and wrap around to the middle of the map just to try and catch any enemies that saw firing up in that tower, and then they're going to be looking that way. I then push over to the very far left of the map to then clean up any more enemies that might be trying to flank us or come around that way. I'll typically play this side of the map for a little bit longer now just to kind of pick off any enemies that are going to still be spawning over there. Once you kill enough enemies, you're going to end up flipping spawns, and then they're going to be spawning over by the C flag, which is typically my favorite place for them to spawn. Once I have them into this position, I can kind of estimate where they're going to be spawning at each time, so I just run back and forth looking into their spawns. It's an aggressive playstyle, and you're going to end up being in a 1v6 situation a lot of the times, but that's how you get nukes. Let's move on to shipment now, also another popular Call of Duty map. Yes, even on this map, I have certain routes that I like to run, and even certain positions that I like to play. I'll always start by running to the right, and it doesn't even matter which side that you spawn on, I'm always going to be running to the right. Then I'm going to hurry and peek middle, and I have to take these enemies in the middle out very fast because there's going to be people flanking up the left, and there's also people respawning on the right. From here, I'll kind of play the outskirts of the middle of the map and just kind of keep running back and forth left and right, peeking mid every once in a while, just kind of being aware of where my teammates are and where the enemies are going to be spawning. Peeking mid is only ever a good thing if there's an objective that's in the middle of the map. Having good positioning also means that your kill streaks are going to be getting a lot more kills. Napalm kill streak also works really well on this map because I can stand in one corner of the map and block the enemies from spawning over there, so they just keep spawning in the fire, and it leads to getting upwards of 10 to 13 kills with my napalm. And just remember, these strats work on every single map. I can still spawn trap people on every map with a napalm strike. Make sure you guys are building your own routes at the start of the game and kind of finding the positions that you guys like to play the most. Of course, the gun that you use is going to play a huge role in what positions you're going to be able to play. Now let's move on to Nuketown, the last map I'm going to do for today. Nuketown gets a little bit more tricky. It kind of depends on what game mode you're playing on the map. In today's video, I'm just using hardpoint as an example, so I'll show you guys my route for hardpoint. Molotovs provide really good map control. In this situation, I can throw the Molotov over by the bus, and it's going to stop anybody from going over there. From there, I can rush right up mid and try and catch any enemies off guard or just waiting for the fire to go away. From there, I'll kind of just run on the outskirts of the map, playing in houses and just playing around their spawns where they're spawning at, because Nuketown has really awkward spawns. There's only 2 places for you to spawn. I'll ever only go back to middle when objective is there, and even when it is there, I'm usually playing on the opposite side of the objective. And you might be thinking, Sway, you're not a team player at all, and to that, you're right. I would rather just be getting kills, going for camos, or going for nukes. So I guess you may say that these tips might only help people that are trying to get kills or nukes, but there are also positioning tips for when you want to win the game. If you guys would want another video on maybe how to get a higher rank in the ranking system, or even how to win more games in the ranked system, I could definitely show you guys how to win a little bit more. But that is all I got for you guys today, so I hope these tips were somewhat useful to you. If they were, please make sure and leave a like, and even subscribe if you're not already. And thank you guys so much for watching. And guys, just remember,
Bahami out the staircase. Hung. It was already supposed to happen.